Christ is shot at. Cadavers of nuns are snatched from their graves and exposed on the church's steps. Churches are sacked and burned. A dozen bishops, thousands of priests and nuns are massacred, often savagely. The collapse of peace and order began in Madrid and Barcelona. The Spaniards lose their last chance to avoid disaster. Two blocs confront each other in the elections, February 16, 1936. With the National Front composed of monarchists, Carlists, and Phalangists, the right seems assured of keeping the power. The left has put aside its differences, and Stalin is encouraging the formation of a popular front, which aimed to dissent of fascism in Europe. The results are surprising. The Frente Popular, ahead with 150,000 votes, wins a majority in the protests of the Spanish parliament. The extreme right and the revolutionaries will prefer street action to parliamentary democracy, as Zanya forms his government. He's a moderate but anti-clerical Republican. Largo Caballero, a socialist who turned to Marxism late in life, prophesizes the coming revolution. Dolores Iburari, a famous Spanish communist, is nicknamed La Pasionaria. Companys, the Catalan leader arrested after the 1934 riots, returns to Barcelona and dreams of independence shared by all Catalonia. The church realizes that it can expect nothing good from the new government. Catholic Spain considers that a republic that tolerates such excesses does not deserve to be defended. A strange alliance of arms and the cross. The Carlist soul is still full of Spain's past glory, her kings, Christopher Columbus, her golden age of discoverers and world domination. Carlists are modern-day crusaders, ever ready to oppose the godless and headless Spain of the Republic. Violence and fear of the Reds are the themes of a young lawyer who seeks a return to tradition. Jose Antonio Primo de Rivera is the founder of the Phalange, which glorifies old Spain and is ideologically close to Italian fascism.
Que nous sommes en train d'initier en Espagne n'est pas une copie d'aucun mouvement étranger. Il a appris du fascisme italien ce que le fascisme a d'unité, d'autorité et de substitution des luttes des classes par une idée de coopération. Mais il doit produire en Espagne les résultats spécifiques qui peuvent être atteints dans un pays d'une histoire si longue, si glorieuse et d'une personnalité si profonde que l'Espagne.
This speech inflames nationalist youth, as well as those who would prefer any authoritarian venture rather than submit to anarchy. July 18, the army leaves the barracks, joined by the Phalange, the Civil Guard, and the Carlists. Of the operation depends on the youngest general of the army, Franco, in exile in Spanish Morocco. The news of the uprising causes the citizens to crowd the streets demanding arms. At first hesitant, the Republic gives in. there's too much hatred. Spain will settle its own accounts with guns from now. Giroudi, the legendary anarchist, encourages violent proletarian revolution. We are not afraid of ruins, he says. A new world beats in our hearts. He enlists numerous seditionaries to build this new world, which will have little to do with his dreams. By the end of July, the break is clean. Madrid and two-thirds of Spain are loyal to the Republic. The nationalists realize that they are lost without Franco and the Moroccan army. Italy and Germany send the first planes. Then the Tercio legionaries and the Moroccan regulares cross the straits. The elite of the Spanish army, both tough and disciplined. Capo d'Ariano seizes Seville with a handful of men. Andalusia will be the nationalist bridgehead. August 9, Franco enters Seville, hailed as a savior. The Virgin and the Sword march side by side, equally cheered. The Church considers the general's plot legitimate. It's an armed plebiscite. The flag of the Republic is replaced with the red and gold banner of Holy Spain. Capo d'Ariano and Franco kiss the flag, saying they wanted to steal it from us. This is indeed a new crusade against the unfaithful, with the Church's blessing. The first battles are fought in the Sierras, north of Madrid. Republican enthusiasm can't always overcome the chaos that reigns in the militia's ranks. There is friction between officers and political commissars. Militiamen often vote to decide whether or not to obey an officer's order. The nationalists are already near the capital. Fighting is savage from the start. The African army is advancing rapidly in the south. Badajoz on the Portuguese border falls August 15. In the last part of August, the nationalists start an offensive in the north near Irun. Blazing sun, both sides fight bravely, but the Republicans are forced to retreat. The population flees under the bombs, across the international bridge and into France. And the refugees follow the fighting across the Bidasoa. Republicans finally give in. Irun is taken, and the Asturias and the Basque Country are cut off from friendly France. The first prisoners, the first interrogations. The Republican survivors head back toward Barcelona, on the French side of the border, to fight again. 2 months after the beginning of the insurrection, the results are not encouraging for the Republic. The two nationalist armies have joined up. Madrid's position is increasingly threatened. The outcome of the war depends on Madrid. Franco is optimistic. He expects to enter the capital on Columbus Day, October 12th. No passerán, says the Passionario. Franco realizes that a war needs symbols. He decides to free the Alcazar, no matter the cost, before attacking Madrid. The Franquist army arrives to the rear of the besiegers, September 28. Threatened with containment, the Republicans abandon their position and retreat toward Madrid. The Alcazar is liberated after a 69-day siege. General, says Moscardo, I can only hand you rooms. But the Alcazar becomes a legend for the nationalist movement. The whole world looks at Spain. Men and arms arrive from everywhere. During the winter of 1936, the Spanish Civil War is a battlefield for opposing ideologies and a terrain for experimental new weapons. It's a rehearsal before the general conflagration. In October 1936, the sound of battle can already be heard in Madrid. In November, Franco announces that he will soon attend Mass in the cathedral. Moroccans are almost at the gates of the capital. But Madrid is gripped by revolutionary fever. Madrid will be defended like Petrograd, say the Republicans. The fall is just hours away. The government flees to Valencia, called traitors by the furious fighters. The city's defense is entrusted to General Nyaha, but the Soviets take over headquarters. The revolution is forced to step aside. Russia and the communists stake their reputation on saving Madrid. The first Soviet tank assault is not a success. They're too spread out. The troops can't keep up, and the Republican counterattack fails. By mid-November, the nationalist advance still hasn't been checked. Fighting continues in the suburbs. Brigades and Durrudi's anarchists arrive from Barcelona to take part in the most horrifying battle in the history of Madrid, the Battle of University City. for a building or even a floor. Days go by, and the Moroccans who are unused to street fighting can't advance any farther. Instead of coming to grips with the situation, the Republicans quarrel among themselves. The Barcelona riots occur in May. The anarcho-syndicalists and the Pum anti-Stalinists, one of whose advisors was Willy Brandt, fight both the communists and the moderate Republicans who are trying to return the power to the central government. The communists come out ahead in this power struggle. José Diaz, La Pasionaria, and Santiago Carrillo. The Spanish Communist Party is indispensable to the Republic. A great bourgeois who has its trust becomes head of government. His name is Juan Negrin. In July, desperately in need of a victory, the Republican Army mounts an offensive. It groups its heavy artillery, hoping to cripple the nationalist lines 30 kilometers west of Madrid. But bit by bit, the Republican offensive is checked, and the Frankists reclaim the lost terrain. Thousands are wounded, and there are almost 20,000 dead on both sides. Franco spells victory. Without a second's loss, the nationalist armies surge toward the sea along a 300-kilometer front. Exhausted, Republican defenses fold everywhere. January 26, 1939, Barcelona falls. The pocket is shrinking. The Nationalists entered the city in March 1939. Balconies are hung with flags and sheets and signs of surrender. Spain, Franco is named El Caudillo, a title given to Christian leaders who drove the Moors out of Spain in the Middle Ages. However, today, Moroccans surround their leader, joining his personal guard as well as his army. The reconquest will be fought against the Reds, Republican Spain. Franco is named Generalissimo and head of state in November in Burgos, where it is said even the stones are nationalist. Franco soon creates a single party, grouping all the factions to his movement, to his own advantage. The nationalists want to tear the evil out at the root and rid themselves of the forces which have led Spain to disaster. Spain recovered her legitimacy, July 18, the day of the uprising. The Grand Priest of Francoist propaganda is the founder of the Legion, General Milan Astré. He has lost an eye and an arm and gained fame with the slogan, Viva la muerte, long live death. An unfortunate paradox, because both sides follow his advice with equal ferocity. The Phalange loses its idol. Jose Antonio Primo de Rivera is shot in November. The Phalangists will refer to him as the absent one for a long time. The Republicans watch the world recognize Franco's government with great bitterness. Marshal Pétain is France's first ambassador to nationalist Spain. The war took 600,000 Spanish lives. The nation is devastated. It will take 20 years to recover. The Germans and the Italians leave Spain. Franco owes them a lot. Yet Hitler and Mussolini will soon discover that his friendship was not lasting. Spain has had its share of tragedy and will remain at peace while the world